Topic: managing your daily tasks and routines. Let's talk about how we start our day, Thomas. I think morning routines really set the tone for the rest of the day. For me, I start by waking up early and making myself a cup of coffee. It's a small but calming ritual that helps me prepare mentally.
I agree. For me, it's all about setting intentions. After I wake up, I like to spend a few minutes thinking about what I want to accomplish for the day. A quick stretch or light exercise helps me get moving, followed by breakfast to fuel up for whatever comes next.
That sounds like a good way to get energized. I think having some form of physical activity in the morning is key. It doesn't have to be intense, just something to wake up your body. Even a walk around the block can do wonders.
Exactly, and having a plan makes the day less stressful. I usually make a to-do list the night before, so when I wake up, I already know what needs to get done. It helps me stay organized and productive from the start.
That's such a good idea. Having a structure in place really helps avoid that "what do I do first" feeling. Sometimes, without a plan, I feel like I'm scrambling. Your approach makes things a lot smoother.
Once the day is underway, how do you set priorities? Personally, I like to identify the most important task of the day and tackle it first. That way, even if the rest of the day gets chaotic, at least I've accomplished something meaningful.
I do something similar. I try to focus on my top 3 tasks for the day. It keeps me from feeling overwhelmed, and even if I don't get everything done, I know I've completed the most crucial ones. It's a great way to stay on track.
That's a smart approach. I think a lot of people struggle with having too much on their plate. Narrowing it down to a few key tasks can really help avoid that sense of being overwhelmed.
Definitely, and I find it helpful to time block my schedule. For instance, I'll dedicate the morning to my top priority, then the afternoon to other tasks. It helps me stay focused on one thing at a time, rather than multitasking all day long.
I like the idea of time blocking. It prevents distractions and gives each task the attention it deserves. Plus, when you know you have a set time for everything, it's easier to relax and not feel rushed.
Speaking of distractions, how do you deal with them? I think we all face interruptions, whether it's phone notifications or people stopping by our desk. For me, I try to limit distractions by putting my phone on silent or setting it to do not disturb.
That's a good strategy. I usually try to create a focused work environment. I'll close any unnecessary tabs on my computer, put away my phone, and let people know when I need some quiet time. It's all about setting boundaries.
Setting boundaries is important, especially in today's digital age. There are so many things vying for our attention. I've found that even taking a few minutes to clear my workspace can help me focus better.
Absolutely. A cluttered space can lead to a cluttered mind. It's amazing how much more productive I am when my workspace is clean and organized. Plus, creating a routine around when to check emails or social media helps reduce distractions.
Exactly. I try to schedule focus time where I'm completely off social media and email. It's so easy to get sucked into checking notifications constantly, but I've learned that stepping away actually helps me get more done.
Motivation can dip throughout the day, especially after lunch. How do you stay motivated when you start feeling sluggish? For me, I like to take small breaks, even just 5 minutes to recharge. It makes a big difference in my energy levels.
I'm the same. Taking breaks is key. I'll step outside for some fresh air or stretch my legs a bit. It refreshes my mind and gives me a boost of energy. Sometimes, even switching tasks for a little while can help regain focus.
That's a great point. Task switching can really help, especially when you're stuck on something. I also find that breaking big tasks into smaller, more manageable steps keeps me motivated. When I see progress, it encourages me to keep going.
Yes, small wins can be very motivating. I'll often reward myself after completing a challenging task, even if it's just with a cup of tea or a quick break. It's a way to acknowledge the effort and stay energized.
And sometimes just reminding myself why I'm doing something helps. Reconnecting with the bigger picture or the end goal can reignite that motivation when it starts to fade.
Speaking of breaks, there's an art to taking them effectively. I try to follow the Pomodoro technique, where you work for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break. It keeps me focused and prevents burnout.
That's a great method. I've tried it and it works really well for me too. I think the key is making sure your breaks are actually relaxing. Sometimes, if I check emails during a break, it feels like I haven't rested at all.
Exactly. I've made the same mistake. Now, I make sure my breaks are more intentional. I'll walk around, get a drink of water, or just sit quietly for a few minutes. It helps me return to work with a clearer mind.
It's amazing how a few minutes of genuine rest can improve productivity. I also try to use longer breaks, like lunch, to completely disconnect from work. Whether it's reading a book or chatting with a friend, it's important to really recharge.
Definitely. I think taking proper breaks is something we all need to prioritize more. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle, but those few minutes can make a big difference in the long run.
So, Jennifer, how do you handle those days when things don't go according to plan? No matter how well we plan, life happens and sometimes routines get disrupted.
Oh, I know that feeling all too well. I think the key is flexibility. While having a routine is important, I've learned to give myself grace when things change unexpectedly. Instead of feeling frustrated, I try to adjust and reprioritize.
That's a great mindset. Sometimes, being rigid with your schedule can lead to unnecessary stress. If something urgent comes up, I try not to get too upset. I just shift my tasks around and make sure I tackle the most important ones.
Exactly. I also think it's helpful to build some buffer time into your schedule. That way, if something takes longer than expected or if there's a surprise meeting, you're not completely thrown off.
I like that idea. Buffer time is a smart way to keep things flexible without feeling like you're constantly falling behind. Plus, it makes the day feel a little less rushed.
Yes, and I've found that some days just require a more relaxed approach. If I can't finish everything, I remind myself that tomorrow is another day. It's all about maintaining balance and not being too hard on myself. Speaking of balance, how do you manage the line between work and personal life, Thomas? With so many of us working from home, it can be tough to keep the two separate.
It's definitely a challenge. For me, having a clear start and end time for work really helps. I try to stick to a routine, and when the work day is done, I put away my laptop and focus on personal time.
That's a good habit. I've found that setting physical boundaries helps too. Having a dedicated workspace allows me to mentally switch between work mode and relaxation mode. When I leave that space, I know it's time to unwind.
Physical separation is crucial. Even something as simple as changing out of work clothes at the end of the day can signal that transition. It's easy to let work bleed into personal time if you don't create those boundaries.
Yes, and I also make an effort to schedule time for hobbies or socializing. Whether it's reading a book, going for a walk, or catching up with friends, I try to make time for the things that bring me joy outside of work.
That's a healthy approach. It's important to have interests outside of work. Those activities refresh us and make us more productive when we do get back to our tasks. Another big part of managing daily routines is dealing with stress. When your to-do list is long, how do you avoid feeling overwhelmed?
I think the first step is acknowledging that it's okay to feel overwhelmed sometimes. Once I accept that, I try to break things down. I focus on one task at a time rather than looking at the whole list, which can be daunting.
That's a good approach. I find that taking a step back and doing something small, like deep breathing or a quick walk, helps me clear my head. Once I'm feeling calmer, it's easier to get back to work and focus.
Absolutely. And I also think that talking to someone can help. Sometimes, just sharing what's on my mind with a friend or colleague makes the load feel a little lighter. It reminds me that I'm not alone.
That's true. We often try to carry everything on our own, but reaching out can make a huge difference. And sometimes, hearing someone else's perspective can offer a solution you hadn't thought of.
Exactly. Stress is a natural part of life, but having tools to manage it is key. Whether it's self-care, taking breaks, or leaning on others for support, we all need a way to cope with the pressure. Let's talk about health for a second. I believe that incorporating healthy habits into your daily routine can improve your overall productivity and well-being. Do you try to maintain any specific health routines, Thomas?
Definitely. I make a point to stay active, even if it's just a 30-minute walk each day. It clears my head and helps me stay focused. Plus, it's a great way to break up the workday and get some fresh air.
I'm with you on that. Physical activity is essential, even if it's something simple. I also try to stay hydrated throughout the day. I keep a water bottle at my desk and remind myself to take sips regularly.
Staying hydrated is so important. It's something we often overlook, but it makes a huge difference in how we feel. I've also been trying to eat healthier. I've noticed that when I fuel my body with the right foods, I have more energy and focus.
That's a great point. Nutrition plays a big role in how productive we are. I've started preparing healthy snacks, like fruit and nuts, to keep me going during the day. It prevents me from grabbing something unhealthy when I'm hungry.
Meal planning is key. It not only saves time, but it also helps you make better choices. When I take the time to prepare meals ahead of time, I feel more in control of my day. Jennifer, do you have any tips for staying organized? I feel like organization is the foundation of a productive day.
For me, it's all about lists. I make a to-do list every day, but I also use a planner to map out my week. Having a visual representation of what needs to get done helps me stay focused and prioritize.
I'm the same. I use both digital tools and physical notebooks to stay organized. I think having a system in place, whether it's digital or on paper, helps reduce stress because you know exactly what needs to be done.
Absolutely. I also try to declutter my space regularly. A clean, organized environment helps me think more clearly. When my desk is messy, I feel like my mind is too.
That's a good habit. I make it a point to tidy up my workspace at the end of each day. It's a small task, but it makes a big difference when I start the next day fresh.
It really does. Staying organized requires consistent effort, but once you make it a habit, it becomes second nature. Thomas, do you have any tips for setting up a workspace that helps boost productivity? I've found that my environment can really impact how I work.
Absolutely, Jennifer. One of the most important aspects is having a dedicated workspace. It helps create a clear boundary between work and personal life. I also make sure my desk is ergonomically set up, good chair, proper desk height, and screen positioning.
That's a great point. Ergonomics can make a huge difference in comfort and productivity. I also like to keep my workspace clutter-free. Having only the essentials on my desk helps me stay focused and reduces distractions.
I agree. A clean workspace can lead to a clearer mind. I also add some personal touches, like a plant or a photo, to make the space more inviting. It's about creating an environment where you feel comfortable and motivated.
Personal touches are key. I also use organizational tools like drawer dividers and cable management to keep everything neat. It's amazing how little organization can enhance efficiency.
What about handling unexpected tasks that pop up during the day? Do you have strategies for fitting them into your existing schedule?
I always try to stay flexible. If something unexpected comes up, I first assess how urgent it is. If it's something that needs immediate attention, I'll adjust my schedule accordingly and prioritize it.
That's a smart approach. I also find it helpful to have a buffer or extra time allocated in my day for such surprises. If I can't fit it in immediately, I make a note of it and revisit it when I have the opportunity.
Exactly. It's all about balancing urgency with existing priorities. And sometimes it helps to communicate with others if you're unable to handle a new task right away. Transparency can help manage expectations. At the end of the day, do you have a routine for reflecting on what you've accomplished? I think it's important to review how the day went and plan for tomorrow.
Yes, I do. I like to take a few minutes before wrapping up to review my to-do list and see what I've completed. It helps me appreciate what I've accomplished and also spot any tasks that need to be moved to the next day.
That's a great habit. I also take some time to jot down any thoughts or insights about the day. It helps me clear my mind and prepare for a more organized start the next morning.
Reflection can really help in maintaining productivity and reducing stress. It's also a good time to set goals or priorities for the next day based on what you learned from today's experiences.
Every routine has its challenges. Do you have any strategies for learning from difficulties you face throughout the day?
Definitely. I try to view challenges as learning opportunities. When something doesn't go as planned, I reflect on what went wrong and think about what I can do differently next time. It's about continuous improvement.
That's a positive mindset. I also find it helpful to discuss challenges with colleagues or friends. Sometimes, talking things through can provide new perspectives and solutions I hadn't considered.
Yes, sharing experiences can be very insightful. And it's important to be kind to yourself when things don't go as planned. Everyone faces setbacks, and what matters is how we adapt and grow from them.
Lastly, how do you celebrate your achievements, big or small? I think it's important to recognize and reward ourselves for our hard work.
I agree, Jennifer. Celebrating achievements helps maintain motivation. For me, it could be as simple as treating myself to a nice meal or taking some time to relax. It's important to acknowledge the progress we make.
Absolutely. I also like to share my accomplishments with friends or family. It's a great way to get support and recognition, which can be very encouraging.
Celebrations don't have to be grand. Sometimes, a small reward or a moment of self-reflection can be enough to boost morale and keep you motivated for the next set of tasks.
Thomas, balancing a busy schedule can be quite a challenge. How do you make sure you're not overloading yourself while still staying productive?
Finding balance is crucial. I start by setting realistic expectations for what I can accomplish in a day. Overloading myself often leads to stress and decreased productivity. I prioritize tasks based on their urgency and importance, and I'm careful to build in some downtime between major tasks.
That's a wise approach. I also find it helpful to review my schedule regularly and adjust as needed. If I notice that I'm consistently overbooked, I reassess my commitments and make adjustments to avoid burnout.
Exactly. It's important to be flexible and make changes when necessary. I also try to delegate tasks when possible. Sharing responsibilities can help lighten the load and ensure that I'm focusing on the most critical tasks.
Delegating is a great strategy. It's also beneficial to periodically evaluate how my time is being spent. By tracking where my hours go, I can identify any areas where I might be overcommitted and make adjustments to achieve a better balance.
Jennifer, everyone has their own unique needs and preferences. How do you develop a routine that fits your personal style and needs?
Developing a routine that works for me involved a lot of trial and error. I started by experimenting with different routines to see what felt natural and what helped me stay productive. Over time, I adjusted my routine based on what I found most effective for my personal style and energy levels.
That's a practical approach. I also think it's important to regularly reassess your routine as your needs and circumstances change. What works well for me now might not be as effective in a few months, so I stay open to making adjustments.
Absolutely. Flexibility is key. I also try to incorporate habits that align with my goals and values. For instance, if health is a priority, I make sure to include exercise and healthy eating in my routine.
That's a great way to ensure that your routine supports your overall well-being. Tailoring your routine to fit your specific goals and lifestyle can make a significant difference in how effective and satisfying it is.
Balancing professional and personal goals can sometimes be tricky. How do you ensure you're making progress in both areas without compromising one for the other?
Balancing these goals requires careful planning. I set clear, achievable goals for both my professional and personal life. I allocate specific times for each, making sure that neither area overshadows the other. Regularly reviewing my progress helps me stay on track and make adjustments as needed.
That's a solid strategy. I also find it helpful to integrate my goals into my daily routine. For example, if personal growth is a goal, I might allocate time each day for activities like reading or learning something new.
Integrating goals into your routine makes them more manageable. It's also important to recognize and celebrate milestones in both areas. Achieving small victories keeps me motivated and helps maintain a balanced focus.
Celebrating achievements in both areas helps maintain a sense of accomplishment and balance. By aligning my daily actions with my broader goals, I can ensure steady progress and avoid neglecting either aspect of my life.
Jennifer, routines often need to adapt to changing circumstances. How do you adjust your routine when faced with new challenges or changes in your life?
Adapting to change is essential. When faced with new challenges, I reassess my routine and make necessary adjustments. I prioritize flexibility and openness to new approaches. It's about finding ways to incorporate changes without disrupting the overall balance of my routine.
That's a smart approach. I also try to keep a positive mindset when adapting to changes. Instead of seeing them as setbacks, I view them as opportunities to refine and improve my routine.
Viewing changes as opportunities for improvement can lead to growth and innovation. I also communicate with others if changes impact collaborative efforts, ensuring that everyone is on the same page and can adjust accordingly.
Effective communication is crucial in adapting to change. By staying flexible and proactive, I can manage new challenges while maintaining productivity and balance in my routine.
Finally, Thomas, how do you reflect on your personal growth and progress over time? I think it's important to periodically assess how far we've come.
Reflection is a key part of personal growth. I take time to review my achievements and areas for improvement. I set aside moments to reflect on what I've learned, how I've grown, and where I want to go next. This reflection helps me stay focused and motivated.
That's a valuable practice. I also like to document my progress, whether through journaling or tracking milestones. Seeing how far I've come can be very motivating and helps me stay aligned with my long-term goals.
Documenting progress provides a tangible record of accomplishments and challenges. It's also helpful to seek feedback from others, as it offers additional perspectives on growth and areas that may need attention.
Feedback can provide valuable insights and enhance personal development. By regularly reflecting on our journey, we can continue to evolve and achieve our goals more effectively. Thomas, we've talked a lot about flexibility, but how do you handle unexpected changes or disruptions that completely throw off your routine?
Unexpected changes can be challenging. When they occur, I try to stay calm and reassess my priorities. I make a new plan to address the immediate issues while adjusting my existing tasks. It's about maintaining a problem-solving mindset and being adaptable.
That's a practical approach. I also find it helpful to stay organized and keep a backup plan. When disruptions happen, having a pre-prepared strategy helps me quickly get back on track and minimize the impact on my overall routine.
Absolutely. A backup plan can act as a safety net, reducing the stress of sudden changes. I also remind myself that flexibility is crucial in these situations and that it's okay if things don't go exactly as planned.
Exactly. Embracing flexibility and having a backup plan allows us to manage unexpected changes more effectively and keep our routines as stable as possible.
Jennifer, how do you think a well-established routine contributes to building resilience?
A well-established routine provides a sense of structure and stability, which can help build resilience. When we have consistent habits and a clear plan, it becomes easier to handle challenges because we're not constantly reacting to chaos.
That's a great point. A routine creates a foundation that we can rely on during tough times. It helps us maintain focus and manage stress because we have a predictable structure to guide us.
Yes, and routines can also build resilience by promoting good habits that enhance our well-being. For example, regular exercise and proper sleep are integral parts of a routine that strengthen our physical and mental resilience.
Incorporating these healthy habits into our routine contributes to our overall strength and ability to cope with adversity. A resilient mindset developed through a stable routine can make us more adaptable to life's ups and downs.
Thomas, do you use any technology to help manage your routine? I'm curious about how digital tools can enhance productivity.
Yes, I use several digital tools to manage my routine. For instance, I use calendar apps to schedule my tasks and set reminders. I also rely on task management apps to keep track of my to-do lists and deadlines.
That's great. I use similar tools, like habit tracking apps, to monitor my progress and stay motivated. Technology can be incredibly useful in streamlining our routines and ensuring we stay organized and on track.
Definitely. I also use productivity apps that help me block distractions and focus on my work. Technology can be a powerful ally in optimizing our routines and improving efficiency.
Utilizing technology effectively can make a significant difference in managing our routines. It's all about finding the right tools that fit our needs and help us maintain a productive and balanced schedule.
Jennifer, how do you evaluate whether your routine is effective? I think it's important to assess if our routines are truly working for us.
Evaluating routine effectiveness involves regularly reviewing how well our routines are helping us achieve our goals. I check if I'm meeting my targets and feeling balanced. If not, I make adjustments to improve the routine.
That's a good approach. I also look at how my routine impacts my overall well-being and productivity. If I notice areas where I'm struggling or feeling unproductive, I use that feedback to tweak my routine.
Exactly. Assessing effectiveness requires honest reflection and willingness to adapt. Regular evaluations help ensure that our routines continue to support our personal and professional growth.
Indeed, by staying proactive and open to adjustments, we can create routines that truly enhance our lives and help us achieve our objectives.
To wrap things up, Thomas, how do you celebrate your achievements and progress within your routine?
Celebrating achievements is important for maintaining motivation. I set aside time to acknowledge my accomplishments, whether big or small. It could be as simple as treating myself to something I enjoy or taking a moment to reflect on my progress.
That's a great way to stay motivated. I also like to share my successes with friends or colleagues. Their support and recognition can make the celebration even more meaningful and reinforce the positive impact of my routine.
Sharing achievements with others can indeed add an extra layer of satisfaction. It's also a way to stay accountable and receive encouragement as we continue to pursue our goals.
Absolutely. Celebrating our progress helps keep us motivated and reinforces the positive habits within our routine. It's a crucial part of maintaining a healthy and productive lifestyle. And that wraps up our discussion on managing daily tasks and routines. We've covered a lot of ground today, from starting the day right to celebrating our achievements.
Yes, it's been a great conversation. We hope you found these tips helpful and that they inspire you to create and maintain a routine that works for you.
Remember, routines are personal and should be tailored to fit your unique needs. Flexibility, balance, and regular evaluation are key to making them effective.
Thank you for joining us on this episode. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in for more discussions on managing daily life and improving productivity.
Until next time, keep working on those routines and take care.